Osrith smiled as Fergus pulled her up a chair and put a wooden plate before her containing bread and cheese. Osrith thanked him gratefully, and yet, they had not stopped to eat all day, and the smell of the food had suddenly made her hungry. And, yes, she was with her friends. Why should she care about them? They were all on Domhnall's side. To the three warriors, Domhnall's trusted men, Fergus got to his feet, however, and clashed her wooden drinking cup and then tags before turning and toasting the rest of the room. One or two of the Cambuliach made to get to their feet, but were pulled back down by others. Fergus grinned defiantly, glugging back the contents. Clearly, they had been drinking longer than Osrith, and so had the men who now joined them, Felim, the man who had knelt to Domhnall that day, Trostan and Uanst. All three were Sainid's household guard, and she remembered them from the feast after her first battle, where Ivar died. Her first feast, where Sainid had treated her wounds. She remembered the touch of the general's fingers on her hand that evening as she waited on the warriors. That same evening Constantine had tricked her to lie next to him in bed, then pushed himself in and out of her. Sainid, Osrith thought, suddenly, pushing her empty plate away. How was he? Did he still live? Osrith! Tagged exclaimed as three men sat round the table with the. You remember these warriors? Osrith looked amongst the men, picked who she knew, and nodded. She had trained against Felim and Uanst, under Sainid's supervision. But they didn't know her. Osrith? Felim looked confused. But you were. It was over a year ago, Osrith replied. I've grown. I'll say you've grown, commented Uanst, which earned him a thump in the arm from Osrith as Fergus, as warrior in arms, rose to do the same. Uanst took his chair with a nod to Osrith, in acceptance of his insult towards her, and warriors in arms always stood to a slight against one of their own. May I ask ... Sainid? Osrith looked between the other two Pictish guards. The general? He lives, confirmed Felim. He fought Giric but would not fight Eochaid, being Alpin. But we escaped, because we tricked them that we were dead after the last Norse battle. 2 brothers. 2 Norse brothers? Osrith asked, interested, pricking up her ears. Yes, nodded Felim, drinking deeply from his tankard. Attacked Culgis then, went but got no joy from the monks who forced them back from the outer perimeter wall, so they crossed the water and attacked Dunnottar, but were repelled. They've gone all the way back to Eoferwick. We feigned death, Trostan continued. Took 3 bodies, did Sainid, buried them, pretending to be us. But we went to the Picts, and then across to Strathclyde. Many have followed us. Many more will come as Domhnall crosses the land. Eochaid will not expect a battle in winter, and... But the Pictish warrior broke off as the royal chamber door opened. Enarin, the castle's lord, strode first, chestnut-brown hair glowing in the candlelight. Behind him, Domhnall strode, swathed in his blue cloak, looking taller than Osrith remembered. Behind Domhnall, as if in procession, were Constantine, Domhnall, and Grioghair. Domhnall looked magnificent. As one, the men before him rose, giving him respect as befitting his rank. He waited until he had everyone's undivided attention and then spoke. Gales, of the land. There was a cheer from several men, Picts, another cheer, and Cymric. This last group gave the loudest cheer. We have assembled here, at this site, Dund, ceded to our ancestors long ago, that we would be protectors, guardians of this land. Domhnall looked between groups of his Diaparat warriors, all come from many different parts of the country, all there because they wanted him, Domhnall Mac Corston Alpin, as their king. Not one man looked from him, not one unwavering in their pledge to serve him. No, Osrith noticed, there was one. Grioghair was staring right at her. Tomorrow, I will join in union with our land. Domhnall continued to look right back at him, so determined she would not make eye contact with Grioghair. She could go, quickly, and if anyone waited for in the hail loft above their horses at this fortress, she would have time to hide somewhere else. Then, Osrith noticed food being brought in. Eat of the land, Domhnall concluded, sweeping his arm in an arc as he announced the meal, which women were bringing and serving onto the wooden tables before them.